Alright, so here is our weighing station, and I'm weighing out 10 grams of soils. I'm using the beaker here. I tear it out, so it should be okay. And I'm adding my soil samples here. Alright, so I got my 10 grams of soil, and we'll measure for all the samples, and then we'll add 10 milliliter of water. Okay. Alright, now we have our soils ready. We weigh out 10 grams on each beaker for each group. That's from group 1, section 1, and that's from section 2. She has those on section 2, and I have from my section 1. So we'll go ahead and add 10 milliliter of water. That's a graduated cylinder with 10 milliliter. So this is the DI water. So we're adding 10 milliliter on each of those, and then we'll stir that. Okay. Okay. I'm adding 10 milliliter here on this first cup. And I'll stir that at the end together. Okay. Second one. Okay. My third one. And the fourth one. Okay, we'll go ahead and stir that for 15 seconds, something like that. Okay. And we'll clean that on its time a little bit. We'll wipe it out and then do the same on the second one. Same one here. Okay. And then the third one. Last one here. So we will let it sit down for approximately 45 minutes, and then we'll measure the pH on our soils. Alright, so here's the pH meter that we'll be using today to measure the soil pH for these samples that you collected. So every time before you measure the soil pH, you have to standardize these, or you have to calibrate these. Okay? So I'm going to standardize here and show you how to standardize that, and then once we standardize it, it should be ready to use it. Okay, so it does has some calibration, measurement mode, calibration mode, and then enter, and there are some others. There's the power button here. So if I hit that power button, it's already on, but if I press that, it will turn off. Now I'll press it and it's turning on. If you look on here, it's on the measurement mode right now. So I will click here and change that to calibration mode. So after I change that to calibration mode, then that's the standardization process. Okay, so to standardize that, as I explained earlier, we'll do a 3-point calibration. So I have pH 4, okay, that's the pH 4, that's the pH 7, or neutral pH, and pH 10. So those are the 3 different pH levels I have. And I have dumped those, or transferred those here in the beaker. So this is my red one is the pH 4, my big beaker here is the neutral, and that's pH 10. Okay, so I'm going to calibrate that here. So that's the electrode that I was mentioning. If you open that you can just put on the DI water here, or that's the electrode storage solution you can buy as well. So you can put that. You want to make sure handle it carefully, because it does has a glass rod and a reference rod, as we were discussing earlier, and that will transmit that information and measure the pH level of the solution. So first I will go ahead and standardize with my pH 4 So I'm already on the calibration mode here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm dipping my pH meter on pH 4. So that will change my pH and bring that back to 4. And when I saw the ready button there, but then I'll go ahead and hit the enter. So you can see that ready on the right hand side of that. Now I'm kind of entering it. So that will kind of calibrate that for the pH 4. So you kind of see that it's done. So that's for pH 4. So after that, you want to clean that carefully every time and wipe it very gentle. Okay. And then now I'm calibrating for second point, which is my pH 7. Okay. So that's my pH 7. So once I dip on that, it's taking me down on pH 7 again. And once the ready sign appears down there on the right hand side, I'm going to hit enter. Right. So once I saw that, I hit the enter and it calibrated for that second point as well. Okay. I'll clean that again. Right. And then my last point is 10. Right. So that's the pH 10 that I'm calibrating. So I already dipped that here and you can see it's kind of around 10, and once I see that ready sign again, I will go ahead and enter it. So it's all done. Now it's changing from calibration mode to measurement mode. So it's kind of ready to measure the samples. We can go ahead and measure it and get the results. Okay. Okay, all right. We waited for 45 minutes. And we are going to measure the pH here. So I'm doing for the section 1 and Sri is doing for the section 2. So I calibrated the pH meter, the second one as well. So that's ready to go. So Sri is using that and I'm using this one. So it is on the measurement mode again. So we'll go ahead and start it. Okay. So my first one, group 1, section 1, and Sri is doing the same. All right. So I'll dip it here, slam that a little bit and then dip it here, and then I'll wait until I see the ready sign on the screen. Okay. Just need to be patient a little bit. It's ready. I got like 6.84, 85. Okay.
7.23.
And we'll clean that, wipe it, we'll break up that. The first one I got is 6.85. Okay. And I'll measure the second one now, the same way. So I got like 7.20, 7.2. I'm cleaning that.
7.09.
7.20. And then I'll wipe that gently again. Doing the third one. Alright. 7.4. It's going, increasing. Wait for that. 7.4. And my last one here, okay, 7.13. Alright, so I'll clean that, record that, 3. I'll clean that nicely now to make sure there is nothing left around the electrode. And then I'll close that here. There are a variety of ways you can take it out, so go ahead and do that. And close that out. She is doing the same one on that side. So we measure that all. So that's the way to measure the soil pH for the soil samples you collected. There are pH stripes you can use on site as well, but this is the pH meter that we have, and that's the way we measure the pH. Okay, we will provide you the data. I'll post that on Blackboard, and you can use those data to write the lab report. Okay, kind of going here and writing down on the board as well. All right, so these are the values that we got. For section 1, the pH ranges from 6.85 to 7.4. On section 2, they're kind of very close. It ranges from 7.10 to 7.23. So I'll send that information and post that on Blackboard and send that in your email as well. So you use that data to compute the pH and write a lab report on that. Okay? All right, thank you.